look at my bike. Let me introduce you. You've probably seen it already. So I'll be riding Hunt Wheels Pro-Am with Continental Race Kings on it. Tail fin bags, the rack and the top tube and the frame bag. Bontrager, Trek, hose, aerosol saddle. My cockpit. The Garmin's gonna lead me, show me the way. I have the Dada Razor kit. It's a very long name, but yeah. Supernova is gonna be lighting up the way. I'll be using the Dynamo to power it, and the rest is beauty. Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome back to the part 2, the Tour de White 2024, which happened to be way different from how it went in 23. So let me tell you another story of where things got improved, how I managed to improve, and how it went. If you haven't seen the stories, visit my Instagram. They are saved there in the highlights. Rewatch them, as this hopefully gonna fill them up with some more explanation. And yeah, let me tell you another story. Been there before. It's as beautiful as it was last year. It just has more snow this year in the tops than it was last year. But what a beautiful place this is. It is 2024, which happened to be way different than it was in 23. I had the same excitement flying to Calgary, and by the time I was sitting in the plane, I was thinking that, shit, I've been to Canada twice, but I've always left the Canada on my bike. It's because I would fly to Calgary and then ride all the way down to Mexican border in the US. Baby. A baby. Amazing. Thank you. Baby has arrived. Oh, Canada. Canada, Canada. Can you see where we're going? I was flying as excited as I was in 23, but also a lot more prepared. And I think I have learned from the mistakes. So like my goal with the 24 divide was that I'm gonna fix the mistakes I did in 23 and just gonna try to improve and see where it's gonna take me. And yeah, basically same story. I stayed with the same beautiful people in Calgary who hosted me in 23, who became my friends. And went to Banff the night before. There I met lots of others who happened to be on the start line. And there was the morning. I spent the night in a hostel. That was an interesting experience when you are staying in a bunk bed in an 8-man room, sharing beds with the people who's gonna do it for the first time. You try to give them some tips, explain them what they are gonna encounter on the road, which is a long one, right? I mean, it's, again, if you're listening, you probably know it's like 2,790 or something miles, which translates to about 4,400 kilometers. Yeah, a good ride.
Start has happened. We are going. So amazing. I was so looking forward to this. And now,
There's simple life ahead. Just riding, eating, some sleeping, and repeating. And there we were. That was 13th of June, and it was Friday. So for those who are superstitious, probably not the best day to start a big race. And maybe it went, I don't know how it went for others. But at least I didn't have the best day. My first day, we rolled out quite soonish. We were just 3 at the front. It was me, Lorenz, and Uba. pretty much familiar faces, and um, and that's how we rolled. We were just exchanging places. Someone would ride faster, someone would ride slower, and then we reached Farney, which is the last big town in Canada before reaching the U.S. border. And by the time I reached the Farney, I wasn't in the best shape. The mood was a bit broken because I crashed already on the first day trying to ride through the like a snow drift, so like the old snow that hasn't melted, still, like that was still on the road. I got caught in a rut and just flew off a bit.
Very warm. Have a little grass. That is good. Oh, so good. Wildlife. Oh, look, that's Mother.
Wow.
Whoa.
They're going for a swim.
You're gonna go for a swim too, maybe, no?
Maybe tomorrow.
Luckily, the landing is quite soft, but old snow is a bit icy, so it's cracked my skin on my knee, and yeah, it was okay. But then, yeah, approaching Farney, I saw a sign saying that there's a free soup for all the tour dividers. Say no more. I wanted that soup, and I needed some rest as well, and I wanted to wash all my salts and everything, so that that I already have sweated out. So it was an easy decision. I just wanted to get some rest. Yeah, so I left Farney and played a bit of a Pac-Man, catching up the riders who opted not to sleep there and carry on. So there were some red lights to chase, and it was fun having a chat with them, a quick one, as I was riding a bit faster than they. I caught the very last rider just before the American border, where I was. Yeah, so I crossed into US, being in the lead. And actually hold the lead throughout the rest of the race. So that's a long story short. But no, I'm gonna tell a bit more. So that was US border. It went quite fine. The border patrols were not very familiar with what's happening. So being first is always a bit of a thing where you have to warn that there are quite a few more coming, and that they're gonna be coming through from pretty much the next day. So it took me some time, as I was there quite early, so they haven't even started their computers. So yeah, procedures. But then I left the border control and went into Eureka. That's the first town in US. Nice big gas station with some warm food, and packed my pockets.
This is my dream life, you know. You can buy a bag of pickles. Glamorous life.
And carried out. It was a bit different because first year when I did it, it was raining a lot, so I couldn't see much. So that was interesting to compare the places. And that was a theme for the whole 24 divide. I would constantly compare how it looked when I was there last year and how does it look now. So it was a lot of familiar places, but some of them looked different. 24 divide compared to 23 divide is like day and night. Like everything went smooth. I think the thing that I remember the best from the 24 divide is the dot watchers that I've met on the route. There were all sorts of them. There were some people showing up with a Cybertruck next to me.
Every day that Cybertruck pulls over and there's a dot watcher inside. What the fuck? But thanks for coming, man. It's good to see you.
They were side by side. There were people holding up signs. There were people just getting out of the job for 15 minutes to meet me on the road and cheer me up. And
look who's waiting.
And there were a lot of people, like new people who haven't been watching Tour de Divide before, but because of Laurent Stendam was doing it, and he's a cycling star, so he brought another variety of like people from the Netherlands. They came to cheer us up. So that was fun, and they went, because they would hear my name in his podcasts, they would come up and show up. So he did amazing by widening the audience and bringing more people to this.
Houston, we have a slight problem. I still can't see the end. And it's about I don't feel like jumping, but I don't feel like waiting either. Fuck. I wonder when Laurent's gonna come. He might also need to get creative. Otherwise he's gonna wait long time.
And actually before the start we got the weather forecast. Everybody was checking and everybody was talking. I think the most talked topic was the coming storm, or like snowstorm, which would cover all the tops which are above 1,500 meters, and there were a few of them that we had to cross. So I knew one thing, that I need to get as far south as fast as I can. So that was the thing that I was racing the most at the beginning. It was weather. I didn't look at the dot watcher, like at the dots or anything. I was just purely looking at the sky, checking how it looks and pushing forward. And it didn't took long. I think already in approaching Helena, I got the news that Lava Mountain, which is the next climb out of Helena, that's gonna be probably covered in snow already. And so I opted not to stop in Helena and push through and try to get as high up as I can before the sunrise. And when I was approaching the summit and it started, I remember singing the Christmas songs because of the light, the light enlights the snowflakes, falling snowflakes, and suddenly you feel like Christmas.
Pushing my bike, so just I can show that it's snowing. Merry Christmas, everyone.
So I was sitting in a forest, in a white forest, eating my breakfast on a stump and just thinking about all this winter riding. I think it's gonna be paying back now.
Just had my little breakfast, sitting on a stump, overviewing the forest, getting covered in snow.
But the descent was cold, and I remember coming into Butte.
Good morning, everyone. Post office in basement. Lobby is open. And I'm eating and warming up here.
started snowing on the top.
Welcome to Boots. It's a bit typical American. Oi, didn't notice that. It's a bit white around. Too white.
A bit cold, but happy that I escaped the Helena, or like lava mountain, without much stoppage time. I was still able to ride down the descent. It was wet, it was cold, but still rideable and manageable. So all fine. I left Butte and started the climb, and the climb was very soft. It was like, it wasn't the peanut butter mud or the death mud, but it was just a thing which slows you. Like you feel the resistance. It's like riding on sand, basically. So I was pushing up, or like riding up, using a lot of power, and in the distance I could see like the road drying up. You see? Just a little bit of sun, and the road is drying. But until then I have to work, and work. From the last year, I remember that there are pit toilets on the top of that climb. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna push up to the top. I'm gonna take a power nap in the toilet, and I'm gonna wait like an hour so that the road could dry, and the conditions gonna be way different. People talk about Tour de White being a toilet race, because it is a toilet race. There's plenty of space for me to sleep and for my bike to stay in. We have 4 walls, and we have a roof and a toilet. And that is the thing with the Tour de White. Like, many times you can use the energy and try to push through certain like stretches, but in other cases it's worth waiting an hour so that the road dries out, and then you use way less energy to cover the same distance. So it's a game. Like you play the game, and you take some risks, and you see how it's gonna pay out. One of the main rules when you're waiting out is to periodically go out and check. I forgot to do this. So now it's snowing more, so actually the conditions maybe were better when I went into the fucking toilet. Okay. So actually my tactics, I got robbed. I don't know how to say it. But yeah, they didn't work out. And what happened is that I ended up riding through slush. It was like snow, sitting on the gravel road, which was wet. The snow was wet, so it was kind of clogging up. I would still be snowed, and like it's a mixture. Like you are covered in mud and snow, so it was not the best combo. I remember having most of my clothes on me because it was wet and cold. This one's for you, Josh. I know you would love to be there, huh? Yeah, I bet this is new kind of mud, you know. Oh, I don't know. It's not bravery, it's stupidity, but we'll see how it turned up. And the situation is like this. Yeah. Nice. Stopping under one tree and just filming and reporting to Josh Ibet, who was following the race, and sending him a nice video where I wished him all the best, because he wanted to be in and to race the Tour de Divide, and I sent him the wishes from the divide, from a snowy divide, which I don't think was the thing he was dreaming about. But the snowy conditions, they didn't stop, and I reached Marshall Pass, and the photographer Eddie Clark was there taking pictures, and he took one of them where I'm riding through the snow, like snow-covered fields. Up at the top there was so much snow that I couldn't ride. I needed to push my bike because I couldn't see where the rocks are under the snow. It got like evened out. And the Fleecer Ridge, the monster downhill, which I talked about in the first series, it was all covered in snow, so there was no way I could ride it down. So I just pushed my bike. I walked all the way down.
I'm not so sure neither how I made it up and how I made it down. But now I'm going to Wise Water or river, and I just hope that the restaurant there is open.
And at that place, I mean, I dropped quite a few meters of altitude, and there was very little snow. The snow turned into rain. I know that many riders chose not to leave Butte and wait out the storm in a hotel or something. And actually, that situation we talked about with Uba after the finish, and asked him like, what were you thinking when you were riding out of it and you saw that the road is being covered in snow, and I like that the conditions, they didn't look safe actually. I mean, you're up in the mountains alone and the wind is howling and the snowstorm is picking up, but he was like, I know you. If you manage to ride through this, I'll do too. And if the conditions would be so shitty that you would turn around, then I would meet you. So for him it was not a difficult decision to make, and yeah, he was on my heels. I think throughout the whole race he has been like 2-3 hours always around me. Like when I would stop to sleep, he would catch up, and when he would stop to sleep, then I would grow up the gap again, and that's how we were rolling.
Good morning, you all beautiful people. Look at that. If that's white, so probably it's gonna be white where I'm heading. It was a good start actually. I had a good night's sleep. Flying there. Whee!
And I had to carry on all the way to Elkhorn Hot Springs, where I knew about the lodge, and I hope that lodge is not gonna be fully booked, as there is no phone service in that valley. I mean, nothing. So you have to actually just hope for the best. You can't call on the road and just book something. So, but yeah, I was lucky. They had a hut, and got myself a couple of hours of sleep. On the way there, actually, you have to climb some mountains, but they were above 2,000 meters, and it started snowing up there. So the descent was pretty cold, but as I said, like I managed to get myself comfortable and everything, blah blah blah. And I wake up, I pack everything got charged, everything's nice. I got myself some food. And when I was climbing up again onto the old Bannack Pass, I think it's called, there was nice. It was all dry. I mean, cold but dry, so that made the ride pretty easy.
The top, baby. The old Bannack Road. Woo! Woo! Thought it was gonna be shit when I got out of Elkhorn Springs today. Earlier, it snowed. I thought I'm done. But look at that. Wow. Ah, wonderful. It's completely wind still. 1 degree. Can't ask for much more. Can't do that. Love you. Oh.
So the old Bannack Pass went quite quickly. I mean, the road was dry and firm, so there was no problem compared to last year, where we already were getting stuck in this peanut butter mud.
Welcome to 30 Wide. Hello, baby. Long time no see. Oh my god, it's gonna be a long day today.
Then was Lima or Lima. I just remember getting into that big petrol station. I think that petrol station has one of the best variety of snacks and stuff from the start. Yeah, definitely. Like there's one bigger one. After that, there was an island park. I didn't slept in the same expensive place, so I chose to push all the way to the Flag Ranch. So in 2024 divide, I had like 2 spots that I remembered from the 23 divide, and one of them was Flag Ranch. I really wanted to make it to the Flag Ranch and get some proper rest in a bigger place and not that expensive as the Island Park was, and that was my objective. I wanted to get to the Flag Ranch. The problem is that the road to the Flag Ranch is quite boring, and it was late at night, and I was struggling to keep myself awake. I probably took 3 or 4 roadside naps, like 10-minute, 15-minute, as it was like -7 Celsius outside. So it wasn't very warm to sleep on the cold ground, and you couldn't sleep for longer than 10-15 minutes before you would get cold. So I would get back on the bike and would start riding, and eventually I think the morning hours, like the sunrise was already on the way when I got to the Flag Ranch, but they were out of places or like out of rooms in the main hotel. The only thing that she could offer me was a cabin in a park. The problem with a cabin in a park is that they have no heating. They have only a bunk bed with no no bed linings or no duves, nothing. Like there's nothing.
Oh my god. This is what I got. There's no sheets, no blankets. Or maybe there are blankets, I need to check that. Yeah, no electricity, but better than outside at -6.
And there's not even no electricity, so you can't charge anything. So the only thing there is the like a washing room. So there I managed to find some sockets where I could plug my electricity to charge my power bank, my GPS, my phone. I just went into the bed, rolled into my bivy bag, and tried to get some sleep on that mattress. It worked out. I got some sleep. I expected some warm food there too, but as I was away from the main house or main hotel, so there was nothing there. I mean, I was looking forward a lot to Flag Ranch and probably had big expectations to it, and they didn't match with the reality. That's a pity, but that's how it was. And afterward, like leaving Flag Ranch, got my resupplies as the grocery shop that's there was open, and the Tetons. I mean, that alone is worth the visit in the Yellowstone National Park. I mean, the view, how they look, is just incredible. I mean,
I remember seeing all this at night in the moonlight last time I was there. Wow, it looks different. What valley and what mountains. That's more precisely this. Yeah.
Those mountains, they are beautiful. What's next? Oh yeah, and I had a very like that's actually the first place where I got my first mechanical in the 23 divide. So for me it was very interesting to compare as I was leaving Flag Ranch already after I've rested. That was early morning hours, so maybe 9 or 10 in the morning. And last year I was approaching Flag Ranch at 9 or 10 in the morning, and then I wasted at least 7 hours with a hitchhike and back and forward. So I knew that I already cut like 7 hours from my previous time. And from there on, the game in my head started. I was comparing the times that I've wasted and where I was gaining, and like having kind of a split in my head. How long it's gonna be taking me to the next point, and next point. I climbed up the Togwati Pass. First year I was there late in the evening, so I would barely see the mountains around me. And this year I could get the full view.
I know that things have to be big in America, but these things are enormous. I don't know really.
It was amazing. And Union Pass, last year I did it late at night. It was cold. The memories from Union Pass were not the best. And this year I was there already by the sunset. So I got, again, beautiful view of the mountain and descended into the valley. I passed the toilet where I slept on the cold concrete ground and was shivering, and now...
Last year those toilets over there were the very first thing I checked in when I got down the pass. Oh wow. This descent and the Kimberley. Oh, Kimberley.
I was still riding my bike, and Pinedale was not that far away, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna get some rest in Pinedale now in probably proper bed. There is a very little place called called something. I don't remember the name, sorry, but it's just after the Union Pass. But there is a bar that's called The Place. That's how it's called, and they do amazing food. I mean, I stopped there as they were still open, as I was passing in a normal business hours, not sometime late at night, and I got probably the best service I ever got, like on the Divide. That was the place to be. I got a huge pizza. Like I was eating a lot. Like they gave me snacks while I was waiting for the pizza. You little doggy, and this little pizza. But the pizza in itself was the best. So I just packed loads of it everywhere, in my pockets, in the bags.
I've just visited that place, and the owner and their friend. I mean, it's been so good. I have it's basically full of pizza. I have enough food now to Mexico.
You're this close to finish this, and the last episode's gonna be where everything comes to an end. So these series also do that. So thank you for watching. Any comments or questions, leave them in the comments. I'll do my best answering them. And see you in the next one, which is probably gonna be the very last one. Thank you.
I shouted some. That's when they come up.